Hello everyone, welcome back to PM Academy. Today's topic is remembering our freedom fighter Bhagat Singh, and with remembering Bhagat Singh also we have to see why the March 23rd is celebrated as Martyrs Day. Dear students, if you say it is an unsung hero Bhagat Singh, it is true because he has not been highlighted, but recently it has become a major topic because our present elected Punjab CM took oath in his native place. That means in Bhagat Singh's native place. That's why. So it has become, that means you can say that actual once again the chapter of the history has been opened relating to Bhagat Singh. Now dear students, every year now we are celebrating March 23rd as the Shaheed Divas or Martyrs Day in India. Why? Why the March 23rd? Because this day commemorates the hanging of India's freedom fighters Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev Thapar and Shivram Rajguru. And these the trio or the three freedom fighters, they fought against the Britishers and Britishers brought some charges against them. They were hanged in the Lahore jail on 23rd March 1931. That's why the March 23rd is celebrated as the Martyrs Day. Out of three dear students, the Bhagat Singh of Punjab is very popular one. It is every Indians know that who is the Bhagat Singh. Now I am taking you to the life history of the Bhagat Singh. Born on September 28, 1907 in Lalpur, Punjab province of British India. Parent was Kishan Singh and Vidyavati. That means mother was Vidyavati, father was Kishan Singh, and they belong to the Punjab province of British India. At the young age, the Bhagat Singh studied at Dayanand Anglo-Vedic High School of Arya Samaj institutions. That's why actual Arya Samaj philosophy greatly influenced Bhagat Singh or influenced Bhagat Singh. And Bhagat Singh's first spirit of revelation was realized or visited when he visited, or Bhagat Singh, that means you can say the Bhagat Singh also made himself a revolutionary when first he visited the Jallianwala massacre sites at the age of 12. When he saw the Jallianwala massacre sites, and that also created a horror in the mind how the Britishers have killed our the innocent people who gathered for the celebration of the Baisakhi. Now dear students, and he was also one of the protesters in his the village at age of 14, and thereafter what happens? Now see that actual as of the age of 12 he visited the Jallianwala site. At the age of 14 he was one of the protesters against the Britishers in his native place or in his the village, and thereafter he never looked back. Then what happened actually, being a revolutionary, because he wanted to change the government or to throw away the Britishers by the violent means, not by the peaceful means. He joined young revolutionary movement and supported violent overthrow of the British rule. In 1923, he joined National College. Also simultaneously he was studying. He joined the National College of Lahore. He was a bright student, and he also received, or he has also received the several. He had received the several awards in his the college days. And he himself founded Indian Socialist Youth Organization or Naujawan Bharat Sangh in 1926, and he was inspired by young Italian leader, that is Giuseppe Mazzini, and he has written lot of articles in the dailies and the newspapers. And he was such a person, dear students, he was not married, and he convinced himself That means he determined himself that actual he will sacrifice his the life for his the motherland. And another incident came to his life, which also that means took the Bhagat Singh into a new turn or to become a firebrand revolutionary. It was means actual, and this the trio Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev and the Rajguru. They were deeply affected by the assassinations or the brutality against the Lala Lajpat Rai. Lala Lajpat Rai, he was leading a non-violent protest movement in the Lahore in the 1928. The British police lathi charge. He was brutally assaulted. He got injured, and after few days, he got heart attack and died. So, means actual these the trio, including the Bhagat Singh, you can say, they highly shocked to see the death of Lala Lajpat Rai, and they directly blamed it is due to the Britishers that the Lala Lajpat Rai died. Now, they planned to kill that police officer who was responsible for the assassination of Lala Lajpat Rai. But they tried to kill that police person. They wrongly identified. Another junior police officer, J.P. Saunder, was killed. And now the Britishers also charged against these three persons for the killing of J.P. Saundarya. But they tried to escape because they realized that actually they will, that means they may face the death penalty. Then in the 1929, he with his the colleagues decided and they determined to teach a lesson to the Britishers. He threw a bomb in the Central Legislative Assembly in Delhi and in against the Defense of India Act and with a slogan Inqilab Jindabad means long live revolution. And while throwing the bomb, they were caught by the British police and they were charged. You can say the Britishers also um, kept him in the jail. They were the charge against the Britishers with a lot of charges. Were the that means they were also tied with a lot of charges. And at the end, in the March 23rd, 1931, this the trio, including the Bhagat Singh, was hanged in the Lahore jail. Now, dear students, this was about the life history. Now, if I take you to the other angles, the first Indian person to eulogize or to praise to the Bhagat Singh was E.B. Ramaswamy NAICKER, and he was the first person to praise the Bhagat Singh or the Bhagat Singh activities. And the E.B. Ramaswamy NAICKER, he was one of the founder of the anti-Brahmanical self-respect movement, and in his the newspaper Kudi Arasan, he has also Arasin actually he has also written in the favor of the Bhagat Singh. And in the Freedom India, a engineering college in the Firozpur, it has been named in the name of Bhagat Singh. Now that Firozpur Engineering College has been upgraded into a university. Now in this way, you see that actually he is a great freedom fighter at the age of 23, you can say, at the young age, and the young age actually he was hanged, and he was so much determined at the young age, and he tried to even at the age of 12, you see at the age of 12, at the age of 14, and during his the college days also he was fighting against the Britishers. He never stopped, he never bent down before the Britishers, and with a smile he also, that means he was hanged by the Britishers. That time he was not feeling any the sorrow, so he was with the smile, and in this way the Bhagat Singh can be the remembered. That's why our the government decided to celebrate March 23rd as the Martyrs Day. And why I told you, dear student, was one day before it was Baisakhi. So that was the celebration, and in the Baisakhi, the same massacre happened in the Jallianwala massacre. And Bhagat Singh, that means he is the first visualized and become the spirit of the revolution got birth within him by visiting or with the visit to the Jallianwala Bagh massacre sites at the age of 12. So now Bhagat Singh, we have to remember the Bhagat Singh forever, because as a student we can never forget. We have not to ignore, because he must be respected, and he is one of the great freedom fighters of India. Him, and by remembering him as Martyrs Day, so it is a great salute to Mr. Bhagat Singh, or our the freedom fighter Bhagat Singh. It is for today, dear students. If you are not a subscriber of my channel, please subscribe it, and like my channel, share my channel, and give a comment, and I can reply you soon. It is for today, dear student. Thank you very much.